Assalamualaikum and a very good day to my supervisor, Madam Ganaga, and my panel, PM Dr. Muhammad Saiful Rizal. Firstly, I am Liyana Binti Nasran, matrix number B06171039. My title for PSM is The Factors Influencing Consumer Purchasing Decisions Toward Online Food Delivery Services in Malacca. Now, we will start with the background of study. In this era of latest technology and innovation, everything in the world has becoming easier each day. The growth of the usage in technology such as smartphone is one of the reasons of development of online food delivery is increased. According to Kumari 2019, online food delivery is a process of delivering food from physical restaurant to consumers with the help of web page such as GrabFood, Foodpanda, and McDonald's. Thus, the aim of this research is to investigate the factors that influencing consumer purchasing decisions to use online food delivery services in Malacca. Next, we move on to the problem statements. Despite of the rapid growth of online food delivery service, there are some consumers are still reluctant to use it. The first factor is lack of trust. According to the Kenaya 2015, consumers are still worried with the security and data personal sharing over the internet. In addition, consumers also believe that online purchasing has low security system. They fear of credit card deception if they use credit card to purchase online. Next, even though internet usage has been growing, there are still some people use internet as communication tool only because there are lack of knowledge on online purchasing. Therefore, it is very important to understand why some people are still reluctant to use online food delivery service. Therefore, the purpose of this research is firstly to study the relationship between the factors influencing purchasing decision and consumer purchasing intention toward online food delivery service in Malacca. Second, to analyze the most critical factor that influencing online food delivery service among consumers in Malacca. And lastly, to examine the most preferred online food delivery services in Malacca. Now, we move on to the research framework. The theoretical framework is developed based on the technology acceptance model theory. The independent variables consist of perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, perceived risk, service quality, and trust. The independent variables are also known as the factors of dependent variables, which is the consumer purchasing decisions toward online food delivery service. Thus, independent variables will be tested whether they will give impact or not to the dependent variable. Next, we will be discussed on methodology part. In this research, the researcher used quantitative research method to collect the data. Survey method, which is questionnaire, was distributed to the 151 of UTM students via online platform, which is WhatsApp. The questionnaire consists of 3 sections. Section A is demographic profile. Section B is attitude and intention to use online food delivery. And Section C is factors influencing consumer purchasing decision to use online food delivery service. Simple random sampling technique is used to distribute the questionnaire. Next, descriptive analysis method is used in order to explain and get information related to the demographic data by using descriptive analytical tools such as mean to measure the central tendency of the sample. Next, for the present correlation analysis, it is used to explore the strength of relationship between independent and dependent variable. Lastly, regression analysis will be used to figure out relationship between one dependent variable to one or more independent variables. Next, we will move on to the reliability of the questionnaire. The first one is reliability of pilot test. The questionnaire has been distributed to 30 respondents among the UTM students. Along the process of data collection is running smoothly as researchers use simple sentences for the questionnaire. A Cronbach alpha value shows are above than 0.7, and that means respondents can understand the questionnaire very well. The value is acceptable. The highest is perceived usefulness with 0.880 and the lowest is perceived risk with 0.717. Next, in this research, the total number of respondents are 151 respondents. Researchers used G-Power software to determine the sample size needed for this study. Next, the reliability for actual respondents, Cronbach alpha value are above 0.6 and it is acceptable. The highest value is service quality with 0.870, followed by trust 0.814, perceived ease of use 0.807, perceived usefulness 0.800, and the lowest is perceived risk 0.670. This shows that the structure of questionnaires are suitable for this research. Next, we will move on to the demographic. Researchers use SPSS software to analyze the data. This is the demographic of respondents. Table shows that 98 out of 151 respondents are female, while the rest are male with only 53 respondents. The highest age group with 65.6% are from 22 to 23 years old, and the lowest is 26 years old and above with only 0.7%. Next, Malay respondents is the highest with 88.1%, followed by the Indian respondent with 6.6% and Chinese respondents with 5.3%. Most of the respondents are from FPTT faculty with 100 respondents, followed by FTK with 23 respondents and FKM with 5 respondents. Most of the respondents, 78.8% of them, are funded by PTPTN, JPA, Tape Melaka, and Yayasan Pelajaran Johor, while the rest are not funded by any financial institution. Lastly, for the respondents, experience with online food delivery service, 82.8% of them have used online food delivery services and 17.2% of them had no experience in ordering food through online food delivery service. The table shows the correlation between independent variables, which is perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, perceived risk, service quality, and trust, with the dependent variable, which is consumer purchasing intention. According to the table, the significant correlation is ranged from 0.498 to 0.677. For the independent variable perceived usefulness, correlation value was 0.677. It can be concluded that perceived usefulness has a strong correlation to consumer purchasing intention, and it was the highest correlation level between other variables. The second highest is trust with 0.644, also shows a positive and strong relationship to consumer purchasing intention. Perceived ease of use 0.592 and service quality 0.575 indicates a moderate relationship with consumer purchasing intention. Lastly, the correlation between the perceived risk and consumer purchasing intention is 0.498. This independent variable has the lowest significant value, but still in a range of moderate correlation between the dependent variable. Next, we will move on to the regression part. This is a model summary table of multiple linear regression analysis. According to the table, the value of R is 0.737, which indicates that there is a strong relationship between independent variables and dependent variable. Next, the R square is 0.543. It indicates that there is 54.3% of dependent variable, which is consumer purchasing intention, is explained by the independent variables, which are perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, perceived risk, service quality, and trust. Next, for the hypothesis testing, the researcher has been highlighted the significance value for the independent variables. If the significance value is below from 0.05, it means that the independent variable has positive significance with the dependent variable. There are only two independent variables that has positive significance relationship with the dependent variables, which is perceived usefulness 0.000 and trust 0.024. The perceived ease of use 0.506, perceived risk 0.344, and service quality 0.231 has negative significance relationship with the dependent variable, as their results are above the 0.05. In this research, only two independent variables are supported and the other three is not supported. Firstly, the table shows that perceived usefulness has significant relationship to consumer purchase intention on online food delivery services, and it is supported by Probowo and Nugroho research. In the study, perceived ease of use was not a significant contributor towards purchasing intention of online food delivery, aligned with research study by Chai and Yat 2019. The study also found perceived risk is not a key factor determining the consumer's intention on online food delivery service. This seems to be aligned with past study by Drabrinit and Zhang 2019. Next, this study shows that service quality has negative effect toward consumer intention on online food delivery service. This result align with the past research study by Zhao, Yang, and Iqbal 2019. Lastly, trust were found to have a positive and direct impact on consumer intention toward online food delivery and purchase behavior, and this is supported by Nguyen 2019. The first objective is to study the relationship between the factors influencing purchasing decision and consumer purchasing intention toward online food delivery service in Melaka. The findings indicate that all the factors have positive correlation on the dependent variable. Perceived usefulness with 0.677 and trust 0.644 contribute strongly to consumer purchasing intention, while perceived ease of use 0.592, service quality 0.575, and perceived risk 0.498 has a moderate correlation toward the dependent variable. Next, for the objective 2 is to analyze the most critical factor that influencing online food delivery services among consumers in Melaka. The table shows that perceived usefulness has the highest beta value among the 5 independents, which is 0.390, and the second highest is trust with 0.228 beta value. The greater the value of beta, the greater the impact of independent variables to dependent variable. For the last objective of this research is to examine the most preferred online food delivery services in Melaka. Table shows that 72 respondents preferred to use Foodpanda when they wanted to use food delivery service. Thus, Foodpanda has the highest percentage of 47.7% among the other food delivery service in Melaka. Next, followed by McDonald's with 26 respondents and GrabFood with 21 respondents. These 3 food delivery services are the most frequent used by the respondent. Next, for the recommendation part, in this study, researchers used quantitative research to collect the data. So, future researchers can use qualitative research to gain insight of the attitude of consumers. Next, future researchers can use a larger sample size and widen the survey to people of all age because each of age group may have different attitudes and intention on online food delivery services. There are only 5 variables included as independent variables in the theoretical framework for this study. The future researcher can use different variables to test the consumer's purchasing behavior in the study. As example, independent variables such as website design, the price of the online food delivery services, and promotion of the online food delivery service. In conclusion, nowadays, online food delivery services have become one of the popular trends to discuss and examine in many aspects. Based on this research, it shows that the students had used the online food delivery services and they also started to consider using online food delivery services in the future. The research objective has been achieved as referred to the result of this study. The overall result of this study shows that the perceived usefulness and trust had a significant with purchase decision of consumer, while the perceived ease of use, perceived risk, and service quality had no significant relationship toward the purchasing decision of consumer. That's all from me, Liyana Binti Nasran, for the presentation of Project Sarjana Muda. Thank you.